Welcome. You're listening to Sports Econ 101, the show where we discuss sports topics from a business perspective. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Vern Glenn of CBS affiliate, KPIX TV in San Francisco, and Russell Jackman will probably be joining us soon here. At each commercial break, we're going to ask a sports trivia question, and today's theme is football. Who am I? Let's see. Some of these questions are not so hard. I think you'll kind of like that.
Okay.
Few topics that I want to cover in the next segment. Damian Lillard not wanting to play if his team doesn't make the playoffs. Scott Boras urging his clients to refuse pay cuts. The Lance Armstrong. That was actually really good.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoyed it. Those guys are doing a fantastic job on these little mini-series. Really
Yeah. These documentaries, and it takes one to know one, man. Boy, a lot goes into it. I mean, a lot. And a lot is left on the cutting room floor, too.
Yeah. You can tell. I mean, it took I don't know how long it took to do that Lance Armstrong one. You know, the Michael Jordan one took a really long time.
Well, just the gathering of the content alone is just a daunting task. I mean, covering over an entire career of a man who's been far removed from the game for so long, and it's just getting the content, getting the rights to use the content. I mean, it's just it's so hard. Yeah,
that was 2 hours, and it was 2 different days for that one. Yeah,
right.
That was really good. All right, this segment of Sports Econ is sponsored by Pacific Private Money. Excuse me, providing mortgage investments that are currently yielding over 7.5%. In fact, last month's distribution was 8%. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
In today's market, not bad. Well, the banks are pulling back, so they're able to get more loans. It doesn't get any more conservative than them. Check them out at pacificprivatemoney.com. Stay with us. You're listening to Sports Econ 101. We are going to be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman. Russell has
the 1 minute late show up.
Yeah. I was saying off the air that, hey, it's like an airplane. You don't get on time. That's it. No, you're always very prompt, and we do appreciate that.
All right. The meter is running. Yeah.
So first I have here Damian Lillard not wanting to play if his team does not make the playoffs. So, we're talking about a shortened season here. It's kind of interesting because if you think about it, what happens when it's a normal season, the 82 games, and you've got, teams that are not in the playoffs, but they're still playing towards the end of the season.
Then play without him.
Yeah, but what's the difference between, let's say last year, that kind of a situation, and this year? Is it the coronavirus, or is it?
Well, it's called the pandemic, kind of wrecking the season. And I guess there were maybe 13, 14 games left in the regular season. And those that are out, they're going to be out if they want to resume this thing. And if they're talking about all the teams being involved, I don't really agree with that. I mean, if you're out, you're out. Just start it with postseason and just move forward. But Lillard's standpoint is, hey, look, man, I get you want to restart the season, but I want to play in games that actually matter. I want us to have play for something.
Then you and your team play better during the season so that you have that opportunity.
And that's my point, is that what happens when you're, let's say 15 games to go and you're 20 games out from making a playoff spot? I mean, do guys take that attitude of, I'll just sit on the bench?
They were ninth place. They weren't that far out of the playoffs, but they were out of the playoffs at that moment. And, it's whenever the string gets pulled, that's when the season ends. And
then does he still expect to get paid a full salary for not working?
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Well, a lot of these contracts and many of them are different. Some of these players, they've been paid in full already. Guys like LeBron James, and maybe I'm not really familiar with Damian Lillard's contract, but maybe he was paid for the entire season as well. So what incentive does he have other than just being a professional? But what about if you're the 8th, 9th, 10th guy, 11th guy on the bench, and you're not making that kind of money, and you need these games in order to be paid, then I think you're talking about a whole different circumstance.
Yeah, you kind of think that if a guy's been paid up front and he does fulfill his part of the contract, if he's not hurt, then why shouldn't he have to refund some of the money, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of these players are going to be in a position where they're going to have to give back money anyway in order to build some kind of surplus for the balance of the season, to kind of save it fiscally. So,
well, that moves us on to where Scott Boras is urging his clients to refuse pay cut and return amid return play negotiations. Trevor Bauer criticized Scott for meddling in the player union affairs. Now, that's Major League Baseball, because MLBPA won't make any salary concessions in the upcoming proposal. So it's, everybody's season's getting cut short.
Well, Scott Boras, first and foremost, is there for his clients. Baseball contracts are guaranteed contracts. So he's not into this whole, I'm going to give back money type thing, especially
Scott makes his,
for his clients
or whatever also.
Yeah, he's on a commission basis, so to speak.
Yeah, so
he's
right.
He's there for himself. He doesn't want to be himself. The optics on it are just terrible. I mean, the optics on it I couldn't look worse for baseball if they were intentional on trying to make it look bad.
I did an interview a few days ago with Kevin Youkilis, the former big leaguer with the Red Sox, and he was telling me, as a former player rep himself, having to deal with labor and owners and management and all that kind of stuff, he says there's a lot going on behind the scenes that the average baseball fan just doesn't know, will not know. The owners will never open their books. That's just not going to happen. And in this great 400-year history of America, where you have a system of management and you have workers, management is undefeated. They don't lose, no matter how bad it gets. Management is undefeated, and so so you've got this impasse between players and owners to kind of move forward, and they're battling it out right now. Are they going to play a 50-game season? Is it going to start in July? Or the players who get counted with a 114-game season with prorated salaries? What gives?
Has to do with safety or the COVID virus concern. If you notice that baseball is not spending any time now saying what happens if anybody gets sick. What happens? How do we make sure that people don't get sick?
Well, there's in the NBA, you're going to have a lot more closeness. In baseball, you're not going to really get that much, unless guys slide.
It's probably the less.
Well, Mr. Jackman, they were going to resume the season with players sitting in the stands. Remember, there's no fans involved in this one, so players are going to sit in the stands, and we're going to be close to each other to begin with. Had they played these games, I mean, irregardless as to how many games there were going to be. So that wasn't an issue. The issue
is the money.
That's what now is, and that's why it looks so bad to the rest of America and the fans of baseball. That they're not if they can take the safety issue out of it, and it's just going to be about money that they're going to haggle over. I mean, I hate to say it, this could be happening in any season.
Well, I just feel bad, not for the big leaguers. I feel bad for the minor leaguers. Yeah. The ones that were making $400 a week to chase their dream, and now the dream is either on hold or, in the case of a lot of guys, it's over.
Or the Olympics, right?
These minor league systems are wiped out.
Yeah, look what happened with the Olympics. Now you got to wait 4 years for that. Actually, no, they're thinking about maybe making it 2021.
No, it's just July of 2021.
Okay, so that's fair enough. But it's interesting because football had just finished its season, basketball was already playing, baseball's the only one that hadn't started yet, so that's the big impact. But I don't have a problem with just a shortened season starting. 162 games is a lot of games. So what happens if you play? How many can they get in between July and early November?
Here's the big question. What happens if there are no games? Let's just say there's no season. What's the impact there?
a summertime of people going even crazier than they're going now.
Yeah. I think he's talking about the money side of it, like, right?
Yeah, I think you got potential labor problems brewing ahead. I know that the collective bargaining.
But don't you risk really losing the fans?
To an end.
I mean, isn't this the kind of thing that baseball isn't already? It already has dropped down to the third most popular of the big three. And
yeah, but they don't care. They don't care about that. This is all about the money. I mean, they could be fifth in a 4-horse race.
Where does the money come from?
This is all about the money.
I don't think you're going to lose so many fans because it's not a situation where like a players strike or that sort of thing. I think it's looked at as just, hey, we had to do this for everybody's safety, so like nobody's at fault. Is my personal feeling. But after the '94 strike, that was really hard to kind of come back as a fan. Hey guys, stay with us. Hold on. We're going to cut to a break. Don't forget your thought. All right, we're talking football here. Who am I? Let's see. First trivia question. I caught most of my passes from David Carr for my first 5 seasons in the NFL. I led the league in receptions and receiving yards in 2008. I am a former Hurricane. Who am I? All right. We didn't go back to the 1920s football in honor of Mr. Jackman. He likes
thank you.
More recent stuff.
I know that I know, and I have to now think of it.
Okay. So I caught most of his passes from David Carr for the first 5 seasons of the NFL, led the league in receptions and receiving yards in 2008. Who is he? All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101 is going to be right back. Oh, there's an airplane. All right, Sports Econ.
Yeah, there's my ride.
There's your ride. Sports Econ 101 is right back. I'm Edward Brown, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman. First trivia question. Football, who am I? I caught most of my passes from David Carr for my first 5 seasons in the NFL. I led the league in receptions and receiving yards in 2008. I am a former Hurricane. Who am I? Anyone?
Wow.
Gentlemen?
I'm thinking Darius Hayward Bay. That's the only name that's coming to mind.
No?
No, he was drafted by the Raiders, so it wasn't him.
No. Ready?
Go.
3, 2, 1. Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson. That was on the tip of my tongue.
All right.
On the tip of my tongue, and I didn't pull the trigger.
All right, guys.
I blew that one.
That's okay. Just finished watching the second of 2 parts of the Lance Armstrong. Did you see that, Russell?
No, I had no interest.
Oh, Russell.
It was
no
actually,
interest.
I'm not interested in cycling either, but it was basically.
No, but Russell, you're a sports fan. You have to. You do this show. You have to take.
It wasn't
what's going on out there.
It wasn't current.
I watched an incredible documentary on Dr. J. Does anyone want to talk about Dr. J?
I love.
Sure,
Dr. J.
I'll be glad to talk about Julius Erving.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was spending my time watching. I was really I'm a big fan of watching old basketball and watching stuff from the 70s and the 80s. I mean, I have plenty to say about Lance Armstrong, but I didn't see the rest of the documentary because after the first one, I had no interest. I don't care what he has to say, and I didn't like the spin of the whole thing.
Well, what was interesting was I kind of appreciated his honesty in this documentary, where he basically
his honesty. My God,
hold on, just in this documentary, he still had the
But you didn't see it. You can't even comment.
He can't comment.
Bro, I'm sorry, man. You just can't. You. How can you offer?
I didn't want to hear what he had to say. That's
listen. I'm not. I don't feel sorry for him. I'm just saying that I appreciated the fact that he didn't try to cover more stuff up. He just kind of said, "Yeah, I did it," and even said he'd do it again. And you know what? You look at it, and his net worth went down, let's say, from 125 million down to 50 million. I kind of looked that up, right? But it's like, if he didn't do any of the steroids, I mean, he was obviously the best at his craft, but if he didn't do the steroids, he might not have been number 1 or number 2. Okay,
of course.
So he wouldn't have gotten all those endorsements. I mean,
if he didn't do the steroids, he would not win 7 in a row.
Exactly. Okay, so then you look and you go, okay, well, what would his net worth have been? I mean, how much is the net worth of Floyd Landis and some of these other guys? Maybe $1 million, right? I mean, I don't know their personal life.
Whoa, that's still pretty good. What if he could have gotten a job doing something else.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is that
other
you look at it and you go, the penalty of getting, okay, he got the 7 medals taken away, and he lost all these endorsements, and he had to pay $5 million to.
But he still
but
keeps
he's still
20,
rich.
$30 million.
He's still mega rich. So
Oh yeah, no, he
it's
got
not
away
really
with
that-
it.
yeah,
He
it's
got
not
away
really.
with the crime.
No, it's not. What I'm saying is that it's not really a deterrent. I mean, look at Alex
Sure.
Rodriguez.
Sure.
Yeah,
No,
there's a good example
the
there.
money that they paid him just to get, means he doesn't get future opportunities or whatever. But, it's another thing, too, though, that lack of overall repentance. We've seen how it didn't work that well for Scottie Pippen when he said he would sit out playing the game. No, that has been sort of the thing that's haunted Pippen from the Last Dance documentary. And now we have, Lance Armstrong saying, yeah, I'd do it again because I'd still make all that money.
So let me ask you, what would happen if they had like this is just sort of dreaming out here. What would happen if they had like 2 different sets of cycling? One for guys who just said, yeah, I'm doing the steroids and let's compete in that arena. And then the other ones who don't. Because even in bodybuilding, in theory, there are the guys who basically steroids and the ones who say, no, go ahead and test me. I am doing this all naturally. And they divide the divisions. The guys are still pretty big, but you can tell the difference between guys who are on steroids and guys who aren't. So I know they don't want to promote people doing steroids, but
yeah, because that's the thing is that the message to my 8-year-olds is that if they want to be competitive and be able to be part of this, get an opportunity, all they need to do is start taking steroids.
But the thing is, if you divide it into the 2, then you could theoretically have another division where it is basically all the naturals, right? You see what I mean?
And then the enhanced division, which, I mean, again, what are people going to think about that? They're going to go, oh, you're a bunch of roid heads. What's the perception of the other group? So they don't want to do it. And of course, then you'd have people in the I promise that
that's right.
And they absolutely are cheating because it's what we had with Lance Armstrong.
Well, again, that's why you got to. They're always 2 steps ahead for like. Right? Vern, you want to chime in on this?
Well, I was just saying you can't have.
Oh, you know what?
It's just the juicing division and then the clean division.
Yeah, we lost you on that one. Your signal.
It says your bandwidth is low.
You did.
Yeah. You
How
might
about
have to,
now?
A little bit better. You might have to put some rabbit ears on your head for reception.
I might have to lose. might have to move locations.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, I mean it's a very pretty location with the trees and the fence in the back, but it's not. It's for some reason it's cutting out. In fact, Russell, I think you're too young to remember rabbit ears, aren't you?
No, I grew up without a remote control.
Really?
Like KTVU and
Well, it's not a remote control. It had to do with the
I'm talking about the actual rabbit
Yeah. It's
ears to get UHF signal.
That's right.
I used an over-the-air TV for years and years and years. I mean,
and what did we all do when the actual rabbit ears broke? Vern?
Well, you'd have to take. We used to take like aluminum foil and just try and like wrap it around it because there was some metal in it.
A coat hanger.
Or a coat hanger. Yeah.
That was the trivia question we were looking for. The answer was coat hanger. But we did do the aluminum foil too. In fact, my dad used to make me stand in the corner and one hand up to the left, one hand to the right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we lived in Tiburon, so we were one of the first families ever to get cable. It came out to Tiburon as an experiment relatively early. So we had cable in the mid 70s.
Really? Okay.
Out there, yeah.
This is kind of a weird thing, but I actually know the guy who invented the television, his grandson. We used to work out together. Well, I didn't work out with him, but I knew him pretty well over at Gold's Gym. Philo Farnsworth, and he actually had the same name.
Now that's a name.
Yeah, that's a name. I know. That's why he changed it. Who wants to be known as Philo? Moving on here, Colin Kaepernick. I wonder if he would be kicked out now if he kneeled during an anthem.
Oh boy.
And will now he be offered a quarterback job? He's age 32. What do you guys think?
Well, in this climate that we're in right now, now is the time to bring him in.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that
Oh, hey, Vern, you're cutting in and out of there, my friend.
he did a silent protest against this very happening. Hello, can you hear me now?
Barely.
You can barely hear me.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out. It's cutting in and
Can
out.
you maybe try inside the house or something?
Kind of pick up your camera and walk around with it.
I wonder. Hey, let's try an experiment. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see if we can make this work.
On the road
so
with Vern.
I'm walking.
You're walking, and it's
a tour of Vern's backyard.
Yeah. It looks like a very nice backyard, by the way.
Yes.
Walking around.
Okay.
Kind of a tour of the house.
Yeah.
All right.
That's perfect.
Okay, and now
you sound good.
Now I'm walking back in. Now I'm walking into the house.
Okay, and we hear you perfectly.
I wonder if that will have kind of. You can.
Now,
right.
Yeah, you sound good. Okay, so what are you talking about?
I do.
Colin Kaepernick. Now would be the time, because like you said, he did silent protests.
That's much better.
He did. He did the silent protest, and then what happened to him? He was ostracized. Yeah. He lost his job, and was blackballed. And that was a silent protest. And look what's happening now. These people are trying to, they were trying not the silent, the peaceful protest. Yeah. And same with now. I mean, people are trying to do this peaceful protest, and look what's happening around the country. Look what's happening worldwide.
I do want to ask about that. We're going to get into more of this when we come back. But, I'm trying to remember the Ferguson situation where, like, what happened to the cops during there versus here. It did take a few days, but they actually did arrest and charging him with, I know it's third-degree murder. It'd be one thing if they just let him go, the cop, and said, yeah, we looked at the tape and it's no big deal. That would be completely outrageous.
Yeah, but the optics for this one, Edward, my gosh.
Oh, no. I'm saying he's completely guilty and all that. So I'm wondering, it's like, once he's now found guilty, I'm wondering what
after I've seen what I've seen in the justice system, I'm not going to say he's going to be found guilty.
Yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
I had a long talk with a lawyer about this very thing, and he says it's really hard to convict cops. I mean, because.
Yeah, but hey guys, so we're going to continue this when we get back. Second trivia question. Excuse me, my nickname, we're talking football, who am I? My nickname is a classic video game character. Okay, my nickname is a classic video game character. I scored 4 touchdowns in 2006. I was suspended by the NFL for the 2007 season. Who am I? All right, stay with us. Sports Econ 101 is going to be right back. Well, welcome back to Sports Econ 101 one more time. I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman. And Vern is inside, and so now we have excellent reception. There he is. Okay.
Yes.
Second trivia question. My nickname is a classic video game character. I scored 4 touchdowns in 2006. I was suspended by the NFL for the 2007 season. Who am I?
Adam Pac-Man Jones?
Yes, very good. There's a video game character.
There you go.
And a former wrestler, too.
Really?
Yeah, he did some pro wrestling stuff as well.
Speaking of wrestling, I understand Mike Tyson's going to get back in.
Yes.
Wow, did you see him? Man, he looks fantastic, except for the gray beard.
Yeah. But what a crazy angle that was to involve Mike Tyson. Yeah. Chris Jericho is one of my favorites. It actually should be. Let's see either they're going to really pad the match and give him something really slow to do, and he'll just do a bunch of corny punches, or he'll be part of some sort of tag team deal.
Yeah,
I thought they were trying to get Evander Holyfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah,
I gotta say, you got something to do with the ear,
Yeah. Hey, speaking of which, what do you think about the sports world weighing in on George Floyd and and everything that's going on. I know Tiger Woods just came out with a statement. Steven Jackson, the former Warrior, I guess he was best friends with George Floyd. I mean,
we're not going to hear anything from Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan issued a statement.
Yeah,
really, and that is
absolutely
a big deal.
Yeah. He said not only he was sad, and he said he was angered by everything that was going on.
Wow,
and Jordan never speaks about anything.
Yeah,
but he
So
going back to like just before the break, we were talking about the George Floyd situation, how hard it is to convict cops. Here's an interesting question: why does a guy need to put his knee on someone's neck for 8 minutes? I mean, I get it.
Well, I don't think he was looking at his watch and timing it. I mean, he was
true, but I know. But I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. He wasn't timing it. But I mean, I'm imagining myself being a cop and thinking that, okay, this guy maybe, let's just say he's completely drunk or belligerent or whatever. Once you have him on the ground and you have the handcuffs on him, and even if you put your knee on his neck for 30 seconds and you can tell that he's not doing anything, he's not moving. I mean, I would.
30 seconds is a long time.
It is. Yeah. I'm just comparing it to like 8 minutes.
Cause brain damage.
I get it. Okay, 15 seconds, right? But I'm basically, my attitude would be, if I'm the cop, look, are you going to calm down so I can get my knee off your neck? I mean, that would be me.
Yeah, but the cops don't do that. Their adrenaline is pushing hard, so they're forcing down hard. I mean,
for 8 minutes, though. I mean, your adrenaline doesn't go up for 8 minutes.
Even when it's less than 8 minutes, it can cause incredible damage.
I know. Russell, you're missing the point. But the point is, I can't see any excuse as to how this Derek Chauvin cop guy is going to get off when it was 8 minutes worth. Yes, damage happens in 30 seconds.
All sorts of stuff. There's the whole situation that happened in Sacramento where the kid was shot for holding a cell phone. And
I could see that being that's a.
You know what? Nobody else has been shot for holding a cell phone.
I know, but okay, maybe we're kind of missing on our synapses here. I'm thinking 8 minutes is such a long time that there's no kind of adrenaline type of, this was an impulse type thing, and I couldn't control myself for 8 minutes that I had to have my knee on the guy's neck. That's what I'm saying.
8 minutes and 46 seconds, 2 minutes of which he was non-responsive.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and this guy had so much disciplinary problems before. It's like, I mean, I don't know why he was even in the force.
There's your big problem right there.
Yeah.
This has been excused and been allowed for just eons.
I mean, what is it? Is it because they're afraid that if they get rid of him, they're going to get sued by some attorney who says, "Oh, you can't sue him. He's only had 15 disciplinary things. When he has 35, then you got to get rid of him."
Not that, Edward. And I don't mean to take this away from you, Vern, but it's not that, Edward. It's because it's accepted in the department to act that way.
And tell me this, Mr. Jackman, I understand that there's different, all 50 states are different with respect to what's third degree, what's second degree manslaughter, and each state kind of sets their own stature for what's what. True?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there are federal levels of felonies that can be involved, but for most murder and capital crimes of that nature, that's on a state level. And
I hope what they do, people are upset about this third degree thing. I'm thinking, no. Yeah, make it really simple, really light, and then put them in the regular prison population and see what happens to them. Mm-hmm. Don't give them any protective thing. Don't put them on death row or something where you can get protected. I say send them out to
deliver justice when justice is due, and something like that deserves like a 25 to 50 year sentence.
Yeah, but I guess what I don't know is how he's going to be protected, in custody, so to speak. First degree murder, second degree murder, third degree murder, or is it basically it's all the same? It's just a matter of how many years you get.
You got to be even more punishing because this guy is a cop. He's supposed to be.
I don't know, but he'll get punished by the people he associates with in El Presidente, in prison, right?
Well, what about the other 3 cops that just stood there and did nothing?
They have to be charged too. Absolutely. I mean, again, these
That's
are
what I'm
guys.
telling you. It's accepted within the department.
What you doing there, sport?
Hey, tell your broker you're doing a show.
Yeah. Remember, buy low, sell high. That's
Right.
Okay. Hey, moving on. Man, did you guys hear Wes Unseld died?
Yeah.
I loved Wes Unseld.
Wow. He's one of two guys who won Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same year.
Yeah.
And
my best friend is a huge Washington Bullets fan. I did not know about that, and he's going to be heartbroken to know that.
Yeah, when he broke in, they were the Baltimore Bullets.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Washington, but he was just this rock, this immovable force inside. It was just
next to Elvin Hayes.
And thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of the only NBA title in the history of that franchise.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And they had that tremendous series against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yes.
The year before that, and the Warriors were the ones that upset them. And then the year after that, they went in and won the championship.
Yep.
It's funny. I always wondered, like, how do they even get the name Bullets? Because it is a little bit kind of an odd name. I know they changed it because, DC.
It was supposed to do with the Revolutionary, with the
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because the 76ers and the Warriors were hearkening to the Indian warriors of the.
Is that right? Is that what they?
Wild West? Okay. Yeah, the original mascot of the Warriors is a Native American and a very politically incorrect Native American symbol for the Philadelphia Warriors. You know what I'm talking about, Vern, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. And,
yeah.
And let's face it. I mean, bullets are fast. Bullets mean speed. And
power and all of that stuff.
That was all a part of it.
Well, you have a New England.
Wes Unseld's he's one of the few guys that I've interviewed while standing in a chair.
But
how tall is he?
The Bullets, the city of Washington wasn't beset by gun violence, and then of course Shimon Peres was killed during the assassination attempt. When Shimon Peres was killed, the owner of the Bullets was such a fan of him that he said, "I just was so disgusted by it that I'm changing the name of the franchise," and that's why when they became the Wizards.
Did not know that.
Yes.
How tall is Vern? You were saying you stood in a chair. How tall is Wes Unseld? He was
6'10".
6'11". Who's the other one? Probably Kareem. Who's the other one you stood in the chair?
Well, I mean, there've been several. I mean, boy.
I thought you said he was one of two who you interviewed.
No, he was one of two that was Rookie of the Year and MVP.
Oh, okay. I thought you also said he was one of two people you stood in a chair.
No. There's been
a few.
I'm 5 foot nothing. I'm in the chair a lot.
I love that. So let's see here. Okay, so I wanted to also, did you guys see the video of J.R. Smith beating up a guy vandalizing his truck?
Yeah. Hey, man, he's protecting his own, man.
Yeah. At first, I thought it was just that he found somebody like just vandalizing a truck, and he just stepped in. But then I watched the video and I saw it, and it happened to be his truck. And you know what? I mean, I appreciate the fact that he just came out and said, "Listen, before anybody else hears about it, I'm going to show you the video, and it's true." And here I am. I wonder if he's going to get, suddenly all these lawsuits for taking the law into his own hands and all that kind of stuff. And big star, money-making basketball player, and they haven't said this yet, but I can imagine that guy's probably going to get an attorney. You're not supposed to take the law in your own hands. You're supposed to call the police. Blah blah blah.
I don't know.
Big time. I mean, that's the looting and the rioting and everything just disgusts me.
Oh no, and it's all organized too. I mean, that's the thing. These guys are just. It's really sad because it really takes away from the idea of the peaceful protests and what's going on.
And because the peaceful protesters, they're trying to expose what had happened and just kind of display their grief, their anger, and then you got these other jarheads that are exploiting what's going on by looting.
And I'm kind of curious with the protesting part. Is it the I mean, obviously everyone's protesting, because this silly cop, stupid cop, but he didn't get away with it per se. But is it the protesting of, hey, departments, you got to interview your people better? You know what I mean? It's obviously not, hey, cops, you shouldn't be doing stuff like this. I mean, they know they're not supposed to be doing,
you just put it in a nice way. Hey, cops, you shouldn't be doing stuff like this. That's that's part of the root of the protest. But we saw a man murdered.
Yeah,
right
but
before our very eyes.
But it's not like every cop is doing that. You know what I mean? It's
but you had 3 other cops that stood around and did nothing.
No, that's a good point. That's a very good point. No,
so
you're right. That is a good point.
Within the department, there's this sort of acceptance that you can act this way, and that the other police aren't going to. Not one of them said, you say that it's such a reasonable thing for somebody to say after,
Well, no, one guy, all he did was say to the cop, hey, I think it's time, and that's when Chauvin said, no, we're going to keep him where I got him right here. But he just looked, the cop didn't do anything. All he did was say something about it. No, totally. No, he should have. And the thing is, what happens if citizens go in? I mean, some citizens saw what was going in, but what happens if they suddenly start pushing the cop off? What do you think is going to happen?
Oh, intervene? Oh, God.
yeah.
Good. The whole department's going to draw guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Start shooting.
Hey, guys, third trivia question here. You just get me all riled up. I played college.
Your fault. You brought it up.
I brought it up. Okay. I played college football at Notre Dame. In 2002, I lost the Super Bowl to my former head coach. I played for the same franchise for 16 seasons, but played home games in 2 different cities. Who am I?
Wow. Yeah, give that one to me again. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's complicated.
All right. I played college football at Notre Dame. In 2002, I lost the Super Bowl to my former head coach. I played for the same franchise for 16 seasons, but played home games in 2 different cities. Who am I? Stay with us. Sports Econ 101. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Econ 101. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Vern Glenn and Russell Jackman, and I've got the guys somewhat stumped, but they're going to go, oh, it was him. Here's the trivia question. I played college football at Notre Dame. In 2002, I lost the Super Bowl to my former head coach. I played for the same franchise for 16 seasons, but played home games at 2 different cities. Who am I?
Damn, I thought it was Rich Gannon, but then he didn't play for
he didn't play at Notre Dame. Rich Gannon played for Delaware.
Now, I believe he lost the Super Bowl to his former head coach, not of football, not of college, but of pro. So the head coach had changed.
Head coach.
Right? Are you guys ready?
16. See, okay. Hang on. Give me 5 more
5,
seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1. It's Tim Brown.
Oh!
I knew we were going to get one of those out of Vern. And
wow!
Right? I guess because
you probably interviewed him too.
You probably
the day of that Super Bowl was January 2003. When he played for the Raiders?
Yeah.
Against Tampa?
Yeah. So I guess they looked at the 2002 season. That's the one
2002 season, but
I'm sorry.
If you had said 2003 Super Bowl, then you might have.
You would have gotten that. We'll give you half credit because you're right. I mean, that's the one thing about when a season goes half. I mean, the NBA does that too, right? Starts in October, November, and then ends in the next year. It's like it's too complicated. All right, guys, we're going to cut out for the day. Here's our thoughts for the day. Winners don't wait for chances. They take them. And losers quit when they're tired. Winners quit when they're done. Pretty nice, huh? Kind of give you some uplifting, encouraging, thoughts for the day as we head into this next week. And for those listening, tune in next week to Sports Econ 101. We're going to be discussing sports topics from a business perspective and asking more sports trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm your host, Edward Brown. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everyone.
So long.